I'm going to continue my review of the Greyhawk novels with Artifact of Evil, today on Greyhawk Ragnar. So, Artifact of Evil. This is one of my favorite of the Gygax Gord the Rogue novels. It's a little bit different in tone from the first novel, because the first novel was kind of just like a travelogue. It didn't really have an overarching plot. It was just a series of connected encounters, for want of a better word. Whereas Artifact of Evil actually has a plot that runs through the entire book. It begins with it's only a few months after the last scene in Saga of Old City, and Gord and Chert and Burley and a bunch of others are attacking a castle called Strand Keep, which is in the Pomarch, because it's evil and they're attacking it, and it gives a really cool description of the assault on the keep, and actually gives um, a justification for why dungeons exist beneath castles. It's because if anybody's trying to undermine the castle, they're going to penetrate into the dungeon, and they'll be lost in a maze, and there'll be monsters, and it'll be hard for attackers to actually get into the castle that way. So it's actually giving you the justification for why all these dungeons exist, which I thought was very, very cool. And it turns out that the Scarlet Brotherhood is behind the evil forces in the castle, and they end up triumphing and capturing one of the monks, and he spills some information, and basically that kicks off the plot of the book, which is there is an evil artifact that comes in three parts, and when assembled, it can release the evil god Tharizdun. Now, Tharizdun is a character in Greyhawk, which I think has really been overused by modules and adventures and so forth. He seems to be the big bad guy behind everything, when in fact he's really supposed to just be slumbering in his prison somewhere. And unless your campaign says that the artifacts have been connected and he's been released, and in which case he'd be way too powerful could not dominate the universe. So it's kind of a conundrum there how you can use him and still stay true to the lore. But being said, um, the board and his friends are off to find the second part of this three-part artifact, because the Scarlet Brotherhood already has one of the pieces, and they go into they hook up with some additional characters, which are very, very cool. Deirdre and another magic user whose name escapes me at the moment. I'm sorry, but from Hardby, so we get an insight into what the Amazons of Hardby are like, and it's just a very, very cool and effective way of exploring the world in the Central Finesse. They go and they find a lost city of the Sulois in in the forests in the off the around the Wild Coast. Uh, Turns out that the evil guys have already been there and gotten their part of the artifact, and then there's a big race to get that artifact to Ayuz. Hi, everybody. Please help me keep Greyhawk alive by liking this video and subscribing. It really does help. You can also become a member of the channel or support me on Patreon and get early access to my videos, exclusive content, free or at-cost copies of my Greyheim Adventures modules, and more. Thanks, and now back to the show. And this is one of the really cool things, is that we finally see Obmi, who was the evil dwarf. He was in the original Gary's campaign in Castle Greyhawk, where he had the machine that would turn make it appear as if you were going forward, but you were actually going backwards, and he had boots of speed, and he was a real pain that the original players in the castle really wanted to get and never could. And he shows up again later in Hall of Fire Giant King, where he's a slave and advisor to King Snur. So he's a well established character, and the books really bring him to life as a great character. And he's got his henchman, Keek, the insane elf, and Gleed, the gnome, and it's just very, very well developed characters. It's one thing that Gygax does very, very well. As well as Kid Polly Kid does the characters very well. I think that's the highlight of these books, as well as the lore around you get a ton of information about little villages and so forth. They actually stop in Hamlet at one point at the end of The Welcome Wench. Um, and apparently uh, um, Luke Gygax had actually played out that encounter with Melf, his character, and Keek, the evil elf, and he actually played that out apparently with his father as he was writing the book. So it was just really really cool stuff. Um, and Gord is really coming into his own. He's got the powers of the ring that he found, so he can turn into a cat. And there's just all kinds of really really great stuff that happens in the book, and but it's really setting up the big quest to stop Tharizdun. And on the whole, I really enjoy this book. You get a lot of detail about characters and places, details about the setting, very well defined characters in the book. The action is very well described. It gives you insights into what Gary imagined mass combat would look like in the world of Greyhawk. And in fact, I think I'm going to start working on a siege, an assault on Strandkeep Castle for my own miniatures game and start running that at conventions, just like I've been doing with the Battle of Emerald Meadows. And it's just I highly recommend it. You can find it online. It's not cheap. None of the Gygax novels are cheap. I find them sometimes at used bookstores, and they're for like $1.95. So it just depends on where you go. I hope that Troll Lord Games will be able to republish these books at some point in the future, just like they've been doing with some of Gary's other unpublished works and um, out of print books. So, but that's in the future. So, anyway, I do highly recommend this. Please do check it out, and hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will talk to you all later.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.